I'm thinking about the question now of how far one should pursue a discussion with somebody who's argumentative or an antagonist, and it doesn't appear that they are they are interested in being persuaded to our point of view. And I think this is a hard one to answer because so much of it depends upon the circumstances. Those of you who listen to the radio show know that I will sometimes take an antagonistic person. I will talk with them a while, not necessarily because I think I'm going to win them over, but because you're listening. Now, you may not have a radio show, but it might be the case that there are other people that are listening. Sometimes we carry on for the sake of a larger audience, whether it's a speaking audience or a debate audience or a radio audience or just other people hanging about. And that might be a good reason to continue to engage. And I can't go into detail now, but I have a very specific circumstance in my life as an early Christian where God really used something in kind of a ricochet evangelism kind of way, where I was talking to this person, but it was this person over here that I didn't think was engaged, that God was really making a difference in. So there are times when we just stay with a discussion a lot longer, partly because there is somebody else that may be listening in that this will benefit. Usually, if I'm not on the air and I'm having a conversation with somebody, I'm using different criteria, and I want to be faithful with somebody who's willing to engage with me. If they are differing with me, I want to start asking questions, even though if I think they're hostile. I want to try to put that stone in their shoe. So I want to be faithful to try to communicate the message if I can. And even if I don't think they're going to go all the distance with me, I want to put a stone in their shoe, ask them questions, kind of probe a little bit, getting them to wonder about the legitimacy of their own view. So I'll stick with it for a while with a lot of these kind of Columbo 1, 2, or 3 questions. I'm either trying to get clarification on a point, I'm trying to figure out the reasons they hold the point, or I'm trying to maybe lead them a little bit by making my own point through questions and showing them a weakness or a flaw in their own view. Any one of those things could be the thing in the long term that could get a person thinking long after I'm gone. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how God is going to use that. So let's just aim for making a difference, putting a stone in their shoe. And that's normally my perspective. Every once in a while, I'll feel like, oh, this looks like a rough situation. You know, I don't think I'm going to get anywhere with this. Maybe I did not even open that can of worms. Now, I can't tell you that I'm always making the right judgment in those circumstances, but sometimes I just bypass a thing that seems to me in the circumstances to be at least not up to my energy or my capabilities in that moment, or I just think it will not be productive in any way to pursue it at all. So the long and short of it is, this is a judgment you make on the run. You try to assess the circumstance, you throw up a fast prayer, you make sure that you're willing to be available to God in the circumstance. I mean, the first characteristic of a good ambassador on our ambassador's creed is that the ambassador is ready. So we want to be ready. But that doesn't mean we're obliged to go the distance in every single conversation. That's not my view. And it doesn't seem like it was the view of Jesus either. If you look at Jesus' engagements, he chose... Well, now I just almost said something that was kind of a pun. He chose the hill he was going to die on. That has multiple levels of meaning there. In any event, the point is that the metaphor is used to decide which fight you want to get into and which one you want to avoid. Jesus seemed to do that. And I think we can do that as well. He didn't think that everybody needed an answer. Sometimes he threw out something to get people thinking, he moved on. And I think we have the same freedom as well. It's an individual choice, your assessment in the moment.